everybody, Chris Eads, Wootini over at gaygamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. I wanted to start off by talking about a really fun thing I did on past Saturday. Geeks Out, a fantastic organization for gay geeks, held a special event called Bar Trek into Drunkenness. Basically, it was a bar crawl scavenger hunt where you had to hit as many gay bars in New York City as possible, drinking and taking pictures for the photo challenges. They were ridiculous. It was, you know, like Transporter Malfunction where everybody switches shirts, and there was a Betazoid wedding where you were supposed to get naked. Everyone had very creative ways to not actually get naked. We didn't win. I'm not sure how we actually placed. In the end, I realized towards the end, I was like, what are we even playing for? What's the prize? And nobody knew. And we're like, whatever, we're just playing for fun, because it was really fun. We were the Red Shirt Revenge Squad, but we didn't get revenge. We did not win. As long as Team Evil didn't win. So that was okay. I also, obviously, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing, as always. And it's very interesting because as I visit other people's towns, there are towns that are so much more developed than mine. And it's funny because I love playing Animal Crossing, and I love my hybrid flowers and everything, but, like, I visited a friend's town, and he has tons of hybrids everywhere. And I know another friend of mine has, like, a ton of black roses, and he's waiting for the golden watering can so he can make golden roses. And I'm like, I had a bunch of those in my last town. But I'm not the kind of person who actually sits there and, like, makes that grid of flowers so that the hybrids will pop up. You know, I put my flowers where I want to go, and if a hybrid pops up, it pops up, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to breed them, even though I am jealous of the people who have tons of them, and I would kind of like to have more. The one thing that people do that I have never done in any of my Animal Crossing towns is taking the pattern and placing it on the ground. Like, they'll get, like, patterns of, like, stone, or some of them have water. Those are kind of cool. And you basically make pathways through your town, you know, for people to walk on to, like, protect the grass, I guess. But I've always felt they look a little bit weird and unnatural, no matter how good the pattern is. So I've never actually laid any down. I mean, I've seen some towns that have some really great stuff. I've always left my town mostly natural. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are people who go and they raise all their trees and they plant them exactly where they want. But I've always kept my Animal Crossing towns more natural, and I just sort of, if a tree is in the way, I'll take it out, and then replant another one nearby. But I'm not trying to create, like, grids of orchards of fruit and stuff. Like, that's just, you know, I don't think it looks, I mean, it looks nice when I visit a town like that. I'm like, it's all very organized. But I much prefer things to just sort of sprawl out naturally. But that's just me. It's also funny because I see people that, like, have, like, full sets of furniture and everything now, and, like, they've gone out of their way to trade with people. I know people, like, a friend of mine has, like, cornered the stock market and buys turnips from Joan, and then, like, goes online to try to find people with, like, the best prices so that he can sell them and make, like, millions of bells. And, you know, it's funny because I know that the whole online trading with your friends thing is totally part of the gameplay, but there's a part of me that sort of feels like it's almost cheating, in a way. I mean, it's not cheating, because it's how you're supposed to play the game, but, like, I'll go and get, like, I was visiting a friend's town and he had some Astro furniture, and I'm like, you have the Astro lamp, I don't have that one. So I, like, you know, inventoried it so that I can go and get it in my own town. But then, like, I'm not gonna go to his place and be like, can you give me, like, this entire furniture set that I don't have? Like, that's just, I don't know, it just seems, that seems like cheating. You know, like, a little bit here, a little bit there is fine, but to just, like, overdo it like that is a bit much, but So now, even though I started playing Animal Crossing a month before a bunch of my friends, they all have much nicer towns than I do. What are you going to do? The other game that I have been playing, although not too much yet, is Earthbound, because Earthbound was released for the Wii U Virtual Console. It was $9.99, which is a little steep, but I guess they figured they can charge a little more for this particular game because everybody's been waiting so long for it and they're freaking out over it, so they'll pay the extra $1 or $2 or whatever. So I downloaded it. I started playing it. It's very cute. It has a nice... I enjoy the sense of humor that it has. I mean, obviously it's just started, so it hasn't really gotten underway yet. It is funny to go back and play these older games where, you know, it's been so long since I've played, like, you know, the 16-bit or the 8-bit titles that, like, going back to 8-bits, it's like, oh, like everything, like the graphics, the sound, the story, the gameplay is all, like, much less refined than I've been used to playing all these modern games. I'm spoiled. But there does seem to be a fun little RPG at the core of Earthbound, so we'll see. If it's, I haven't decided whether or not it's worth all the hype that it's been getting over the years, that everybody has been like, we want Earthbound, we want Earthbound. Hopefully it sold really well, and Nintendo will realize that they can do well for themselves by bringing out these more cult games that you may not think would sell like a blockbuster, but it might actually sell pretty well. And I am hoping also, there was a rumor this week that I read that Nintendo had trademarked a couple of phrases about a fish with a human head, and there is no other fish with a human head that I can think of other than Seaman. That amazing Dreamcast game that was so weird and fascinating and amazing. And oh my god, if they could make that for the 3DS, it would be so spectacular. It's one video game rumor that I am really hoping is true, because I just think that would be spectacular. So that's all I've been playing this week. And I'm probably just going to be playing a lot of 3DS for a while, because I am about to go on vacation to the beach for a few days, and so I will be without consoles. I expect to play some 3DS and maybe some Cards Against Humanity, and we'll see if I have time for anything other than swimming. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, and I will see you back here next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Bye!